Okay, we've got a no cooling call here, and then last night it got a little chilly and she has no heat or cool. It's a Goodman package unit right up here that we've worked on before. I can't remember exactly what we did to it, but sounds like we got no indoor fan or possibly nothing. So let's go check it out. All right, so you guys are used to me, even though I carry a truck full of tools and Vito bags that are stuffed, y'all are used to me going on a troubleshooting call with those two items and this. When it's a package unit, I'll usually add the drill. Other than that, this is all we're going to hope to work with. So let's open this thing up and see what's working or what's not working. Boy. This thing is sitting so low that it's almost on the ground. All right, so we got compressor and outdoor fan. So let's figure out what we don't have for heating and cooling. Obviously we have a stupid load control. Hate those things. Maybe I was wrong. There's the low voltage. We had a new helper one time, way back in the early 90s. And he came and helped us for a while and was learning pretty good. But he misunderstood one of us at one point or another when we were talking about low voltage. And evidently he thought we said slow voltage. And he kept referring to that, you know, and the guys would say something about it or whatever, and I'd say, nah, you must have just heard him wrong. And sure enough, that's what he was saying and what he thought. And finally one day I said, so is that opposed to the fast voltage, or what are you talking about? And he really didn't realize what I meant and what I was saying, and so I guess he thought we had a fast and slow voltage. Now there's our common. So there's obviously no common going to the thermostat. That's the blue. Here's our white, yellow, red, and green. So take my little jumper wire. And see if we can test the rest of this from outside here. So I'm gonna go to red and green and see if we've got the indoor fan. And we do. So far everything's working. I guess we may as well test and see. Good gosh, whoever put these wire nuts on here. Cranked them down like lug nuts on a car tire. So we did not test heat. Let's go ahead and see if that fires up. Yeah. Smelled like raw gas coming out of there. A lot of people want to put these rocks here. I do not understand it. But their house, so do what they want. Okay. The reason I'm pulling that off, I was sitting right there. I believe all I smelled out of that was raw gas. I don't believe it lit. And I thought this was a spark type ignition. I didn't know it would let any gas go without an igniter, but I could be wrong. Gas, that's for sure. I sure thought I heard the buzz of the spark ignition. But it did not fire up. Let's pull that thing out and look at it. Looking pretty rough. For it to work too. Clean all this up and stick it back in there and try again. Alright, so I cleaned up the element and the ground rod. I also cleaned up the spot right here where the screw goes through, just to see if maybe it's not grounding well. I heard it clicking, spitting, and trying to spark, but don't know that it's making it over here. We'll examine this wire. If we don't, if I had one, I'd just put it on there. So I'm gonna do the backyard hack, everybody laugh at it test on this. And like I say, you can laugh all you want. obviously either this connection or somewhere in this wire, because I repositioned it from everywhere. I would say it needs this igniter. Also, that board won't look real good. I'd have to look at the back of it to see. But when you do this kind of thing, you don't really know which thing you did caused it to fire up. Whether we moved a skint spot and got it away from being grounded somewhere, or whether pulling on this affected a bad joint on the board. Something like this, normally you just replace the igniter and the board at the same time, but let's see if it lights up a couple more times. It's rough to sit right here at the exhaust. There's only so long you can hold your breath, you know. So I'm going to guess one of these connections or this stuff we did here at the end of it to clean it up is probably what was going on. If I had one of these with me, and I usually keep one, just not this time of year, I don't have one anymore. If you catch the wrong spot on this, it'll knock the fire out of you too. And it's lighting every time now, so I'm going to imagine it's either us cleaning up that ground and cleaning up that rod and all, or possibly this connection right here was our culprit. So that's one thing. Now for another thing, they have more than one issue going on here. We'll go see what kind of thermostat they've got. Try to see if I can figure out why they did not have a fan in the cooling mode. So let's go in the house here. And see what's going on. Uh-oh. Florida State Seminoles and San Francisco 49ers. Boy, they are two-time underdog loser teams they pull for. Okay, I was wrong. Either she told me wrong or I misunderstood her. The air was okay and it was heat they don't have, but could have swore she told me the indoor fan was not blowing. No matter what they did. That's my little seat right there. Piece of Reflectix. So I think that we straightened out the heat problem just by cleaning up that igniter and all of its surfaces and its ground, or possibly that connection there. But either way, I think we're okay. It came on in the cool mode from in the house. And I am not going to hook that stupid load control back up. I do not have a good opinion of the power companies that want to put those out, and my opinion is they need to stop building more and more houses on the same grids, or either upgrade them and stop this silliness of wanting to turn people's compressors off in a rotation through the summer. I'm just not a fan of that. I think we need to stop building. We got too many houses anyway. Or upgrade the grids, whatever it is they don't want to do. You can bet it surrounds money. So let's get this thing back together. And I'm going to make note of this model and serial. And if it gives us any further heat mode troubles, I'll just come here with the igniter assembly. As well as the board. But we will hope not. So, about 15 years old, and she refreshed my memory as to what we did here before. What they had done was they had put this unit against the wall and they had it sealed like that, and you can see where they had a kind of a piece of flashing that was not working well, and water was getting inside of the crawl space. As the duct connections, you can see these that sit on rails. The biggest problem was there was the bottom of the plenums. I mean, it was just completely wide open on, you know, return and supply. And I'm not sure if we took a squared around or if we made 4-piece transitions, but resetting the unit was what we did. You can see where they had their old flashing on it, and it was just pouring air. You could feel it out at the end of the machine. I remember that. They were losing all their air. So that's what my guys did, was we just connected to it, and you can see we got screws in the bottom, and we built a I was thinking maybe it was squared around, but obviously we just built a 4-piece transition, and I say 4-piece, I don't know if they bent a piece and capped it or built it in 2 pieces or 3 or 4, but we just made solid duct to where all of it wasn't pouring out. And then we built this where rain wasn't pouring in. It's not sealed real good, but you could walk up to this unit. She refreshed my memory, and you could feel air conditioning just pouring out from under these rails. Apparently it's bigger opening under here. And I mean, it was just pouring out. So they really didn't want to spend a lot of money on it. So we didn't change the pad or any of that, and it was going to make it worse because these boxes are already at the, you can see they're at the floor height. So Goodman unit, It's 15 years old now. I think that's been 2 or 3 years ago that we did this. But it was just a get-by improvement that we did for them. And it's worked. It now heats and cools the house without blowing it all outside. That's really all they wanted to do. So let's let her fire it up from inside, and that way we can let it run for a minute. I had to sit right there by it. And that's just a little bit different of a design, where the 2 service doors are right there on either side of the exhaust. So you're not gonna sit there with it too long. Let's go in the house and fire it up. She's burning. All right, it went off. That's good. All right, so there's a heat call that I thought was no heat or air. So the next one is definitely an AC call. So let's go see what's wrong with their air. Thanks for watching.